Hey, what's up, everybody? A little loud. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Dylan, Pudgy, Rick, Large, Jay Dandy. So, yeah, it's been a while. I've just been busy, mostly work, but also riding. So it's just been any of the free time has been out on the bike. Actually, I'm amazed at how many miles I've gotten in the last few weeks with how busy I've been. A couple, I think 2 or 3 weeks in a row, over 200 miles. So it's not like I haven't been riding, but just not time to be able to chat like this. And some of the nights stuff just aligned with me being busy with work, like last Thursday. And then if you're not in the Discord, last Tuesday, we're gonna have traveling through on, and my power went out for part of the afternoon and early evening. It wasn't out when I wanted to stream, but I had so much work to do and so much work coming up that I just had to use that time when the power came back on to work all evening. I should technically probably be working on some stuff right now. I'm still not quite caught up, but I'm like, I want to jump on for an hour, and I'm sick of looking at the that computer screen. So I was like, I'll come down to the basement and look at this computer screen. So, yeah, no complaints about it. It's been good, and the work has been like mostly work I enjoy doing. It's just taking up all my time. It's one of those things like I think I've gotten in my head a little bit starting in 2020 that I'm an actual like YouTuber. It's like I'm someone on YouTube, but I'm not Terry B or Pathless Pedal. Like this isn't my career. Like it's it's like a side gig to the side gig that had become my main gig. So it's like I have to remind myself of that. Like how we talked about. I really love that idea, and I think it's a winning idea of doing like the news show once a week about like alternative cycling news or gravel news, whatever we'd want to call it. And Rick brought it up right away that he was like that would take a lot of work and time. And over the winter, or late winter, I was thinking, yeah, it would, but I can make that happen. And now I realize I just literally can't make it happen. But so it's just kind of how it goes. And like I said, no complaints, just a fact. Like I'm not complaining about the YouTube thing or about my real work stuff. I like them both, but I just it's not what I just don't have the time in my mind I think I'm going to have when I come up with an idea. So um, one thing though that I've been talking about, and I know I've talked about a couple of times that we are getting started, is I made that video a while ago with Aaron, how Aaron became a gravel badass, and Otis at Dirty River had kind of wanted to turn that into a series where we talk to cool people in Akron who ride bikes, and that is all in motion. Pilot episode will be shot next week, and I've got the idea now. Me and Aaron all worked out how we're going to do it. So that was something we had been talking about for a while, and so that's going to happen. And now I'm just trying to decide if I try and schedule, record, and edit a bunch, and then I could have them all in the bag and put them out like once a week, or if I just do them when I get the chance and put them out whenever. I think I like the idea of having like a season done, but I also want it to still look like the weather is. So, you know, I don't know. So we'll see. Still working on the scheduling logistics, but as far as having that happen, it will happen. So it'll not sure of the exact title, going to work that all out in uh, before we shoot next weekend, but it'll have like a sponsored by Dirty River Bike uh, things to go with it. So, yeah, let me get into the comments and say what's up to everyone. But that's my little intro about what's been going on and what's happening with the channel and why I've been like very inactive in the Discord and even IG or responding to comments has been slow. It's just been if I'm not working, I've been riding, and just doing as much. Like I'm not caught up on any of the other friends of the channel's videos or anything like that. I just tried to watch a couple because I usually sit down and kind of chill for a couple minutes before the live stream. So I watched a couple videos, but just how it's going. So um, yeah, there's one other thing I knew I wanted to say at the beginning, just to catch up on what's been up, but it'll probably come to me. Anyways, who else jumped in? Hey, what's up, Nicholas? Patrick, how's it going? Dimitri, what's up? Hey, Raymond. Oh, Jay Dandy, did you get out and dodge the raindrops tonight? It was, I was, there was a couple photos I wanted to take out at the Summit Lake Farmers Market, which is along the towpath where the floating bridge is, but it was raining off and on, and I'm like, I'll just hammer out some edits. I could get some of those next week. So for what I do for Night Foundation. So what's up, Farley? What's up, Rusty? Uh, Rusty's already a little tipsy. It's funny because I hung out with Rusty a decent amount, not this weekend, but we had a couple beers, but we never actually like really drank. But it was also mostly day riding type stuff. So, you know, with my crew, a beer still comes out here and there, but it wasn't a lot of drinking. So, hey, what's up, Muskrat? Oh, Jay Dandy, I did see that you responded to me in a DM when we were riding back. It sounds like I had texted Jay Dandy again, like always, too late. I realized me, Dylan, Large Marge, and Rusty were all riding out towards Kent on, is that either Saturday or Sunday? I think it was Saturday. That's the day. Yeah, Saturday. We spent all day out on the bikes riding everywhere. And again, way too late. It entered my mind. I'm like, we're heading towards Kent to the Moon Tower trails. I should hit up Jay Dandy. But I did message him while we were riding. It sounds like we kind of just missed each other out there. Shoot all your rides on a green screen. Oh, my camera froze, huh? It was. Let me try and restart that. We'll see what happens. I do have the GoPro set up here if I have real problems as we've been talking about in the stream. Man, Aaron and Ben and everybody are blowing me up also on my phone while I'm trying to pay attention. I need to turn the ringer off. And Micah. Well, we'll go GoPro tonight, I guess. God, this thing's already really hot. Nothing to help with your train of thought like not having your cameras work. Oh. The GoPro's not working either. Wow. Maybe I unplugged the wrong one. Let's see. Oh, I got the Canon back. The GoPro has gone out somehow. So, always something. Anyways, where am I? Oh, yeah. One thing Rusty was talking about. He's doing funk bottom on single speed. So, insane. What's up, mountain biker boy? Oh, yeah, Pudgy, you guys are I think I'm busy the weekend, this one, but I think I'm free for the next one. He was saying the psychotherapy overnighter at John Bryan. Oh, my God. These text messages are killing me. I wanted to look at my schedule. Yeah. Oh, it is possible that I could swing it. I'll have to see what's happening. So. Sleepy Holler, what's up? Apparently, Peter North is here. You don't have to. I know who Peter North is. Good looking honky. Thanks, though. Thanks for the assuming I wouldn't know that. Oh, Jay Dandy, you said you think you were back there on the trails at the same time as us? We just missed each other. Uh, oh, Rick, you're talking about a through cyclist who was touring, and you said he was afraid to ride through Philly. Huh. I guess it would depend on which way you're going, right? Because when I went out and visited you, there was a lot of ways, like the bike trails and bike lanes seem to go through there, but I guess it depends on where you're ultimately trying to get, huh? Yeah, Rusty, you're a madman for. So Rusty and Boris from up in Cleveland, right? Joy Machines, sponsored rider, and sometimes I think he said, well, kind of like a part-time employee as well. Not kind of like he's a part-time employee. are both single speeding Funk Bottom, which is crazy. And then I saw Jay Dandy, you posted right that you're going to do the shorter distance, which still looks brutal because of the lack of training from sciatica, right? What else did I miss when my cameras weren't working? Were there recent shootings in Philly? It's hard to keep up on all the shootings in this country, obviously. Yeah, so Dylan came into town and Rusty rode down from Cleveland, so I got a ride with, got 3 rides in with Dylan, 2 rides in with Rusty and Dylan, which were great. But yes, like I was mentioning, Saturday, that's most of what's in the video I posted this morning, where we hit, I think, what, towpath, Freedom Trail, hike and bike, a lot of neighborhood cuts, Route 8 gravel, so a lot of industrial gravel, downtown gravel, uh, Honda Hills, which was way too muddy to really comfortably ride, and also where, if you watched any of the videos or stories I posted, Dylan took a pretty nasty tumble, which kind of limited his activity on Sunday. Him and Rusty just did a like a what was Bike Cleveland sponsored kind of chill group ride, and then yeah, Friday night we rode out to Kenmore, did some gravel, and then Monday we all Aaron, Large, me and Rusty met up at Hampton Hills, and they also rode 2 other mountain bike trails that day. Uh, I had to get back to work, but had a good time out there as well. First time I rode the Marin build out at the mountain bike trails. It took me a little while to get used to it. I'm so used to riding my Raleigh. I like want to say I like the Raleigh better on Hampton Hills because it's pretty flowy trails, nothing too gnarly. But I think it's just I'm not used to it, and it's a little slammed, so it felt a little weird. But yeah, what did you think of? Wow, I need to control the volume. Always. What did you think of Hampton, Rusty? I think like I know Dylan really likes it. And Aaron seems to be getting the hang of it really well. I was super impressed with Aaron's riding out there on Monday. Like I was kind of riding in the back, and like there were very few times like I had to slow up, you know. So, and then you guys are talking about gearing for Funk Bottom, and that's one thing I need to do to the Marin if I really want to ride it like that. I have those smaller rings in the front, but I only have a 26 in the back, and it's kind of defeating the purpose of those smaller front rings. So, as Dylan was recommending, I need to look and see if Sun Race or whoever has some 9-speed cassettes that I could get a larger gear on there for the climbing. It was like, you know, I actually made it all the way out of the switchbacks on Hampton this time, which I know is, I don't think Lanky's in here tonight, is he? But he even talked about in one of his recent videos about that one little switchback that's so hard. I did pull it off, but it would be way better with an easier gear. So, oh, Rick, you said you finally have some free time and then you got a hip strain. Oh, that sucks. I need a proper mountain bike. I don't know if I do need a proper mountain bike though. Because I could totally like I don't know. I mean, because I haven't ridden East Rim yet, and that was one of my goals over the weekend. So I need to get out there, and it's like, but I definitely don't need it. Well, like you said, Karate Monkey. I don't need a proper mountain bike. I don't need a full on mountain bike, but we'll see. Again, to underbike a little bit for how much I do it, I'm happy with, but Rick get a 90s mountain bike. Rusty said Hampton was a lot of fun. Need more trails, but otherwise really enjoyed it. Yeah. I think Hampton, like, and again, I usually go out there on Mondays. One, I like it because uh, I'll meet Large and Aaron or whatever, and it's just there's nobody else out there, which I enjoy because I just always have this feeling that I don't want to be in people who are really fast way, so no one's around. But then I'm also trying usually to get back and get some work done. So I need to go out there when I have more time so I could do the trails like twice, do each the top and the bottom twice. I think would be get more used to them, get faster at them. Plus, they're like interesting enough that I don't feel like it would be boring to do them twice in a row. So I'm slightly out of focus. It's driving me crazy. Oh, and I bumped my camera, so it froze. Didn't bump the camera. I bumped the plug. There it is. Fixed it. Let's see if I can get this focus a little better. A little worse. Other way. There we go. Oh, Rusty, yeah, you did not clean that particular switch back. You're blaming the lack of gears, but in reality, you said you could have just gotten it with a few tries. Yeah, I know we kind of warned you, but it's something if you've never done, you kind of have to feel it out. It is just, one of these switchbacks that's like that. You're going up and then you turn and you're still going up, and it's just hard to stay on top of the pedals around that corner. Mountain Biker Boy said any bike can be a mountain bike. Yeah, and again, it does depend on where you are. I mean, like, you know, I have a friend who was just out in uh, Sedona, and he said, like what they were calling medium trails in Sedona. Well, if you've watched any YouTube videos, I've watched mostly Terry B's videos from out there where they're riding the really tough ones, and I'm like, I don't even see any trails. I just see like rock face. And that's what my buddy Kyle, who was out there, was saying. And he was like, on the medium trails, he was like, there were parts where was, you know, it was too steep for him to, and he had a full suspension rented. He rented a full suspension bike. And he was like, if I was on my gravel bike, there's no chance I was riding any of it. So not any of it, but you know what I mean. He would have been a lot of hike a bike on a gravel bike out there. But in Ohio, I agree, mountain biker boy. It's just like I'm out. Like we were all out to have fun. Dylan could obviously just totally crush it and send it, but we were still like waiting up around corners and regrouping and chatting because we're out there to enjoy the trails, but also to have fun and hang out with each other. So Muskrat said, "Got to try Hampton on 1-to-1 and a BOB trailer." Yeah, Rusty said Sedona is Nar, and Pudgy said back home in northern New England, any bike cannot be a mountain bike. And again, it just depends. Yeah, depends on where you are. You know, and how much you want to hike a bike and how many rock gardens you walk around, depending on the trails. But hey, Rick, where Dylan ate it was not; those were not official trails. Those were like serious, like bandit dirt bike trails that, like, I couldn't even believe that Dylan attempted to go down it. I was gonna say they, but Rusty was up at the top, and I don't mean this as a slam on Rusty because I would never do it myself. I wouldn't even consider it. He was like, "Nah, I'm gonna pass on this." So, and Dylan did make it down. If you watch the full video, um, Dylan already had gone down successfully once, but before he did it, he was like, "The problem with this is there's no run out because there's like a creek or swampy wooded area right where you go super fast downhill." I could show this in a second, but so he made it successfully once, and then his wheel just kind of caught when he turned to try and do the run out the second time. So, Rick, I'll be honest, you wouldn't have made it halfway down that hill, and again, that's not even anything against you. I wouldn't have either. I would have wrecked before I got to the bottom. So, Sam asked if Terry B finally got on his bike packing trip. The last he posted, he hasn't. He had not received like his rack yet, unfortunately. He posted a story this evening, which was a re-story, and they were showing everything, and all the guys were there, but I did not see the racks. So, yeah, he was live streaming yesterday, literally waiting for DHL because it was supposed to get there with the stuff they needed, and then they were going to leave today, which was already 4 days late, 3 days late. But yeah. Rick, you're sour on Terry B lately? Why? Yeah, the bikes. Nicholas said the bike snob video on Terry B. I thought that was awesome. I love when Terry B does like more of his like, and I don't mean this as the slam against his regular YouTube videos either, but more of like his professional cinematography stuff, like he's done with the three bike snob videos. I think they're great. Like I love when he does those. So did Rick do the down? Did Rick do the downhill at the Rubber Bowl? I think I had already me and uh, Dylan, his friends had already ridden out to Hoppin' Frog, even though it was closed, just to finish the route. This is so the Rubber Bowl hill is like long and kind of steep. This is just like a short, like drop, like straight drop. Hey, what's up, Tony? Oh yeah, Sam, the Terry B. New York City bridges. Yeah, he did that with kind of that more professional look. I really like that. Oh, so Rick did do the Rubber Bowl drop. That's impressive. I still have to say this hill at Honda Hills is more insane, even though it's only 1/10 of the length. It's just a straight drop with no run out. Like when you watch Dylan do it, you could see his tires just completely locked up and not slowing him down at all at the end. So, Muskrat, you got the Bike Snob book? I need to pick it up. That's what I was saying when we were talking about it last time, and I had totally forgotten about it. But I do remember Large talking about it and even giving me a sticker, which I stuck in one of my books to keep safe, and I don't remember which book it's in. So I have one of the stickers somewhere. Oh, yeah, I have a Masthead IPA. That's what I've been. Uh, Rusty's favorite Cleveland brewery, right? We were debating that when we did the bike packing trip. What is that now? A week and a half ago? Because I was saying Noble Beast is my favorite Cleveland brewery, and he said Masthead, which I really like Masthead too. I just think Noble Beast does even more interesting stuff. But I've never had a bad beer by Masthead. Well, since they've been canning. Early on at the brewery, there was a couple that were okay, but I don't judge people when they first move up to a big system like that. So let's see what everyone else is. There was a couple beer pictures from today, I believe. No, there's a couple starting yesterday. Start yesterday. Well, Rick was drinking Kind Tree THC Green Apple extra strength t-shirt tincture, 30 milliliters. THC plus is THC plus. Grass is legal in Pennsylvania, or is that like a illicit product? Summit had Tidal Fury Imperial Hazy IPA. I've actually never had this one from Great Lakes, and I've had most of their old school Imperial IPAs, like um, unless this is one where they just changed the name. And Raymond's got a Heady Topper. Nice. Still, that's a famous beer that I've never had. Nicholas with the Voodoo Ranger. What does Farley have? Oh, Brewdog Hazy Jane. I don't think I've talked about it on the stream, but the one night I was up in Cleveland, oh yeah, I did. I went to the newish Cleveland Brew Dog, which was really cool. And someone just posted that there's going to be a bike ride with Brew Dog, like starting and ending there. Maybe I'll need to look it up. It was Bike Cleveland or one of the groups, the Canal Way maybe. But the food and the beer I had there were really good. Was this Tony? Oh yeah, Tony's got an Ignite Mountain High Haze. Let us know how that is, Tony, because Ignite is always hit or miss with me. Um, don't talk to Ignite about Hugh; he hates him. But I've had decent beers there, and then I've had beers that were really, really average. So it's just always been fairly inconsistent. And Rusty has a blurry glass of something, but that does look like, is that a masthead pint glass? Now back to the steep hill. Rusty said they look sketchy as fudge. Yeah, there was no run out. It was all rutted. It was like hard and like hard packed but soft. Yeah. Rick said he finally read Just Ride, and you think Grant's an idiot? Are you still gonna buy his bikes? Oh, prescriptions, Rick. So you were saying that drink is liquid weed. Well, I assumed since it said THC, it'd be liquid weed. Uh, I'm so used to seeing what's the other thing that everyone has that I always feel like is snake oil, even though some people swear by it if you use, right, like Pudgy. Oh, CBD. THC enema, Rick send it. Oh yeah, Pudgy. Yeah, I have to get my hands on Heady Topper eventually. Or I should probably look for it. Maybe I did have maybe I actually had it on draft somewhere when we were in Connecticut. I might have. But I've never had it. I've never had an actual can. Oh, know where I had it? I did have it in the can with Rick and Philly. So we were getting tacos. That taco place, we sat outside, Rick, and I had ordered. I think we had ordered drinks, and then I'm like, "Oh, they have Heady Topper. I have to get a can." And yeah, and I remember you're like, "I'll get the drinks," and I was like, "I think this one's expensive. You don't have to, but I appreciate it. You did anyways." So, so yeah, I did have Heady Topper, and it was in Philadelphia with Rick. That's funny. And Tony said about the Ignite, High Haze is all right. Not mad at it. Good. Muskrat, are you asking about the jalapeno version of the masthead? I've had. They have a jalapeno grapefruit one. I think I have the can over there, but that I actually liked, and it wasn't overly hot. It was drinkable. Like the jalapeno just added like a nice flavor to it, like a nice little bit of heat in the finish. So, but I haven't. I don't think I've bought. They have it at the drive-thru where I got this already. They do have the just jalapeno IPA, and I don't think I've tried the just jalapeno one. Nicholas said just ride was fine. Huh. I need to read it. I think Otis likes it. I mean, I know he's a big Grant fan, um, but I'm guessing I would enjoy it, even though I wouldn't agree with everything. But who agrees with everything? I'm reading a book by about the '90s right now, and some of it's insightful, and other things I'm like, I was there. That's kind of bullshit. I'm still enjoying it though. So, so Rusty's drinking Aslan bringing extra sexy back. Aslan bringing. 9.4%, and it's his third one. Nice. Hey, what's up, JMZ? Uh, yeah, everyone forgot about me because I've been gone so long. It's my fault. J Dandy, single speeders need to be numb. Blake asked if I'm using tubeless. I think most of the people who watch this stream run almost everything tubeless. You know, I have vintage stuff that it's not really possible or practical on, but my gravel bike runs tubeless. Um, I don't try and do the thing where I hack like non-tubeless tires into tubeless, even though I prefer tubeless. Uh, but yeah, I think pretty much everybody here would be completely on completely on board with tubeless, and I would never buy anything new and not set it up tubeless. Any new wheel set, any new bike, it's just so much better. And I was kind of a holdout for a long time, and now when I ride bikes that aren't tubeless, I'm always like worried about flatting. And I've only really blown one tire that I didn't know the reason. Like the other times I've got flat on tubeless is just because I've run them way too low. And also we ride a lot of stupid stuff. I missed Dylan's. I missed a couple comments going way back up. I'm gonna do this like Terry B style where I start just talking and then I go back and read the comments. But Rick said, Grant says, when coming to a hill, shift with your legs first. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I feel like you don't, especially with someone who shifts friction. You definitely want to shift when your bike is not under load. If I shift my old French bikes with I'm putting power through the pedals, I'm gonna break something or throw a chain. So yeah, I think you anticipate the shift, but I don't want to. I would need to read that whole paragraph and not just take a quote from someone who's really stoned out of context. Rick said CBD is why he doesn't randomly punch people, and Pudgy said the same. I've never tried it in a serious fashion, so I don't really have an opinion. My negative thing about CBD is just throw it in everything, and it's the solution for everything. Like you've said, Pudgy, and we've talked about this. Like there's a way to use it effectually. There's all that kind of stuff. There's anything in life, you know what I mean? If it's not used in the right way, it's not going to do anything. Like I've had it, like when we were in Yellow Springs the one time, I got a can of something that had CBD in it. Did I notice a difference? No, I drank one can of something with CBD in it. I'll tell you, if I drank the thing Rick had with the THC in it, I'd probably be wrecked. So, hot chocolate stout. I A lot of companies Muskrat make like the Mexican style like hot chocolate stouts. Stone has a decent one. I'm trying to think of Zocaveza. Stone Zocaveza is a good one. Bicycle Dad, you said you don't have a like option. It's if the I don't know what it looks like on mobile. On desktop, it should be if the video's not full screen. There's a bunch of like clip, uh, like, add to playlist stuff. But I guess I usually hit like on desktop. So, Nicholas, you said uh, watching Grant or doing Grant. Grant was on Reddit. Ride your own ride. Yeah, and I think that's the kind of thread that he talks about a lot that I always agree with. Some of the posts lately, as we've talked about, like I think they were going a little extreme and clickbaity, but you know, that's also the way the internet works. And he has a bicycle company. Oh, thank Nicholas. You said you'd send me the book. Rick, triples, tubes, and walkers. Oh, Dylan said Grant versus Jan, live debate. Who would moderate? Uh, who would be a good moderator? I don't. They would definitely agree on a lot of things, but how Jan Heine is so much still more performance. Like he's never anyone who's going to look down on anyone for party pacing, but that dude still likes to ride fast. So they both like kind of some pieces of vintage stuff or modern vintage takes on things, but for different reasons almost. It's really, yeah, it'd be an interesting debate there, Dylan. I don't know who would be the moderator. Let's see. Sleepy Howler said one of four of his bikes has tubes. Yeah. So let's see if this works. No, it turned off. That's right. I had the GoPro set up to show what was going on where all my bikes are hanging, but it turned off. Yeah. Cool to the touch now. Um, yeah, so for me, one of whatever 15 of my bikes is tubeless, but like I said, if it was an option on all my bikes, I would go tubeless on everything. I don't want, like I said, I just don't want to. I know you can do it. I just don't want to hack tubeless onto non-tubeless wheels. I guess the look is set up like that with the Mavic Kaiserums, however you pronounce that right. But from 226, who does bikes, he had set those up tubeless. But again, Yonda looked at him and he's like, I would put tubes in there. So I don't know. Rick said, Grant says ride your own ride and then tells you how to ride. I believe that. Yeah. It's kind of like there's a lot of Otis in there, right? You know how Otis, when we have on the stream, he's like, no, do whatever you like. And then he also still has his own personal strong opinions, like I think we all do. Um, Ride your own ride until you need a pump, then don't ride. Jay Dandy said, I don't think Grant would take direction well. Well, I think Grant would get crushed in a live debate by Jan just because I think Jan is so much more. Uh, what's the right word for just someone who would do better at like making a point in a live type situation? The debate might be more interesting in writing because I think Jan has an unfair advantage of being really is salient. The word, whereas Grant's a little bit. Just from the interviews I've seen with Grant, like Pathless Pedaled and a couple others, he seems a little bit. He speaks a little slower and a little all over the place. Part of the cookie you had at JB. I'm glad I didn't touch that, Pudgy. Oh, Rusty said Zocaveza is a Mexican chocolate stout, not a hot chocolate stout. Yeah. Jake Jake Kellogg says, "Oh no, I lost it. Great Divide Yeti Mexican Imperial Stout. I've seen that one. They have a regular Yeti. I don't think I've had the Mexican Imperial Stout. Mountain Biker Boy said, goggles are glasses for the towpath this time of year. Yeah, down when you drop down by the Mustel store down in the Cuyahoga Valley in the evening right now, you definitely need glasses. Gooder makes some $20 ones with clear lenses that still kind of have that Ray-Ban-ish look if you care about that stuff. A lot of times, that's what I've been using because since I found a pair of Brads in the mud at a place we drink beer at. But also, I have a pair of like orange. They look like vintage blue blockers that I bought at a campground because you could wear those at night a bit. Um, yeah, anything. Safety glasses. Like I said, that's all I wore in the winter for years was just safety glasses. You know, from the ones I have from my shop, stuff like that. So someone might have a good, like a better recommendation, but anything with clear lenses or yellowish lenses, just anything to keep the bugs out. And that's the bandana right now. This time of year comes in great handy because you'll be swallowing those bugs. I was joking with someone that about being a mouth breather, but yeah, doing this thing is really, really good this time of year too. Oh, that's a good idea, Pudgy. So for the moderating between Jan and Grant, he said Ronnie Romance. I think that could work. That could work. And he is kind of in between, right? Because Ronnie Romance is a guy who like is probably faster than anyone you'll ever meet, and then also does complete group like chill rides. So Grant STFU and ship your bike. Uh, Rick says Lion Spinks is moderator. I have no idea who that is. Someone Google that for me. Party size, what's up? He said he's skeptical of both and loves both, so he could be impartial. Punch them one time's up. Oh, Dylan's getting the words I'm looking for. Eloquent, articulate. Articulate, I think, would be the right phrase, Dylan, to describe like Jan. Like, and he's really good at like, I don't know, even when I watch some live streams with Ted King and Leah Wilcox and Jan, he's really good at like he believes in what he's saying, but then he knows when to back off and just smile. Yeah. So, Rusty asked, like, do you all have conundrums with perfect geo but bad frame material? So, like, if you could get a bike that wasn't carbon, I gotcha. Huh. I obviously haven't had that problem because I have no new bikes and no real carbon bikes, but I'd be interested. That's like a good question to throw out there, though. Oh, me and you, Rusty, we were talking about breathing in the bugs. You're the fellow mouth breather. Rick, you said Grant could talk forever. He could outdistance him. Yeah, it would be like a what are the famous Lincoln debates with? Is that Lincoln and I don't know if you've ever read. Who was Lincoln debating in the party primaries? Uh, but those old school debates, they were like they weren't like now where you like get 60 seconds and 30-second rebuttal. You had like 10 minutes to make a point with like a 5-minute rebuttal. I read them all when I was younger. I'm still a history nerd, but was kind of obsessed with reading that era of history. But Rick said he has shades that could switch the lenses, which would be a good idea too if you have nicer stuff. I don't spend a lot of money on the glasses stuff because, like I said, I'm afraid lose it. But then, of course, I hang on to you know, freebie glasses that get handed to me for like 4 years. So, oh, Dimitri, he's got if you just need glasses, you don't have to worry about it. Thoughts on threaded versus pressed in BBs? Uh, Man, I would never want press fitted bottom bracket. I've never had to deal with one, so I can't like. But there's, I don't, I cannot see why anyone would want to press fit bottom bracket. What a pain! If you work on your own bike, why would you want to deal with that? And you have so many options with threaded. I mean, whether you want to go like the old school route with square taper like I did, putting like Velo Orange, but then you could also put the outboard bearing BBs in. Yeah, I don't know why anyone would want press fit. So Dylan, Grant does a filibuster as long as his chain stays. Yeah, Tony, what you're saying there with the debate about like a bike that you really like but you don't want it in uh, plastic or carbon, like you said, you have mostly steel, and that's yeah, mostly my situation over here as well. The bikes I really ride are all steel, and I really like the geometry of the Rally. I'm still finding my way around the Marin with that build and seeing if I like it a lot. But I guess my winter bike is aluminum, but that one never really bothers me for its harshness. But also because, with 2.2 snow tires on it, that's probably part of it. So, but like I said, I've ridden carbon bikes with wide tires that still felt really like way too stiff. So, oh, Hornets? Yeah. I've never had a hornet fly in my mouth or my eyes though. Every time I've been stung by yellow jackets, I've been like doing nothing. I really don't like them though. What was Dylan's strong bike? Oh yeah, I got it. And Pudgy said press fit BBs are worse than a Grant Penniston lecture. Oh, I wonder, Rusty, too, with that. And I've heard, and I haven't ridden one. People say that modern aluminum bikes have more compliance built into them than they used to. That's just what I've like seen in videos or read in articles. But like I said, the bike I was using as a road bike, which is just my trainer bike now, 2007 aluminum with 28 tires. The reason I stopped riding on the road is because it just like I love the way it felt when you're climbing up a hill and you were just trying to go for like a, just a trying to climb a hill as fast as you can, like that stiffness. But every other long ride, it just ended up eventually just beating me up too much. So I've read that's changed, but yeah, you'd have to go and test ride one to see if you feel like that. I don't know. See you later, Nicholas. T Fosi? I don't know these glasses. I'll look these up. Oops. Got to be more careful with my beer. There's no cover on my computer down here, and it's just the fan is fully exposed. Yeah, see, I don't like cycling looking glasses. I like more of these like normal looking ones, like $25. That's like gooder type prices there too. But and I don't have a problem with anyone who likes wrap around. I get it. I think Rusty was just saying how he likes it because it keeps like more wind out of the side, or someone was just saying that. But yeah, I just like the more classic looking ones because then I feel like more normal wearing them everywhere. But just personal preference. Oh, they let you customize them too. Talking about press fit bottom brackets, yeah, they're famous for squeaking, but I've never had one. And didn't they mostly put press fit bottom brackets on like carbon, like road bikes? Oh, what's up, Lanky? He said every frame material has its advantages and disadvantages. Yeah, totally. Uh, and it depends on what you're trying to do with the bike. There's nothing that I need to be that light that I would prefer aluminum or carbon, but that's just personally me. I don't race anything, so you know, and I don't do cross, so I'm not carrying my bike on my shoulder either. Rick said his Kona is butted aluminum and rides really good. Yeah. Who let Lanky in? Ah, I missed all the retracted messages. Yeah, Tony. So you guys were talking about if I'm pronouncing this right, Tifosi, Tifosi. I have Tifosi, Tifosi, Tifosi. Yeah. And Tony said, love the gutters and the Carfia for cycling glasses. Decent quality, can get polarized lenses, and don't have to stress if you leave them in the woods after a couple of beers. That's kind of my attitude. Oh, that's what Rusty was saying. The wraparound is good when the sun is at your side. Yeah. I actually ride without shades a lot. When I'm in the woods, I don't like them. I saw that those ones, almost like a transition style lens Terry had for his trip that are going to, like, they have that UV thing where if you're out in the sun, they go darker, and if you're in the woods, they go lighter. Uh, hey, what's up, William? Been a while. Tony, you are correct, Lanky. Every frame material has its disadvantages, except for steel. I didn't. I didn't say you look like a douche, Rusty. T. Fosi. Is photochromatic the word for when they lighten and darken, Lanky? I have no idea. What's up, Resolution? If I didn't say hi, I don't know if I slipped that in there. Oh, also wraparound doesn't have a frame to block your field of vision. That makes sense. I could see that. I'm not trying to picture when I'm wearing my shades. Steel is somewhat authentic. the, I mean, the benefits of steel is it pretty much lasts forever. It's fixable. I like the flex of steel. My Marin with the really lightweight steel has a really nice flex to it, but that's a negative to some people. So, yeah, it just depends on what you like. The feeling, I don't like the plasticky feeling of carbon, but when you get on a full carbon, super lightweight bike, to accelerate on one of those feels amazing. Or like I said, you're just trying to climb a climb that's not that bumpy. Carbon feels amazing for that, but I still will take steel. Let's do the members thanks video real quick. I'm gonna grab another beer and maybe chat for a few more minutes. There was something I wanted to grab. I was thinking in my mind I was going to take the break. Well, maybe I'll see it on my way to grab a beer. But yeah, let's do the break a little bit early and come back and, you know, we'll do like 10:15 or 10:20 or something. Like I said, still got it. I'm still going to try and even sneak in a little bit of work after this. So just where I'm at right now. But all right. I'd like to take a moment to thank the channel members. They're the ones who make it possible to invest this much time into YouTube and also to buy the gear that makes it possible to run this channel. So thanks to them. If you're interested in supporting the channel, there's a link to that down below. One more thing, if you feel like it, stop by the gear shop, which is also listed below. You could get some cool bandanas, stickers, shirts, swag, whatever. And now you can get back to your beloved Tuna Boat song. We will be back in one moment. So Rusty said we all know that titanium is the best frame material. No corrosion, lightweight, great ride feel. So titanium has a huge negative is that it's really expensive. Really nice titanium bikes cost a lot more than a steel bike, and so you have to take that into account too. That not everyone could afford titanium. How does titanium doesn't corrode? How does titanium deal with being dented? Is it like aluminum, or it's going to eventually fail if it gets dented? I don't know. I'm just asking. Because that could be a negative too. But Large Marge said magnesium, and you're all giving them a bunch of shit. I know the early magnesium bikes were really bad because what they shattered. But who did? Someone did a video on there's some more modern takes on magnesium alloys that are actually supposed to be okay. So vintage magnesium, you probably want to steer clear of unless it's going to be a wall hanger. But I think there is a modern take on magnesium. And Rick, what you were saying about carbon with the if it does have a flaw, it's a hidden flaw and it could be dangerous. That's true. It's becoming less true with modern carbon layups. Carbon technologies advancements are to pretend like a modern monocoque frame is the same as like my lugged aluminum vintage look is not true either. I think it was the GCN Tech channel. They had like a couple experts on and did a long, like deep dive into modern carbon. Still, I prefer steel, but that carbon isn't as dangerous in that way as it used to be, but it does fatigue over time. So, but they're saying, you know, you've got years and years on modern, probably decades on modern decent carbon frames made by reliable companies. We're not talking about, the fly by night like Chinese ones that are out there. Mountain Biker Boy, I'm not sure what you're asking there with. You said just one request, soundtrack from the vids. All the videos have the music linked directly to where you could download the songs for free. So every video I make has a link to the song, and you could download the artist's music. I don't have. I almost said Pandora again, Pudgy. Spotify, so I don't have like a Spotify playlist to drop because that's not what I use. Rusty, money is a construct. We made it up. Yes, and unfortunately, the price we made up for titanium is too expensive for me. uh, oh, Vast. You're right, Dylan. Vast does magnesium. I knew someone made new magnesium, and I could not think of the name of the company. Large Marge getting me with the monocoque. Yeah, carbon and sunlight. Chris McCollum. By the way, what's up, Chris? And I heard is that the what's the guy on Park Tools, the famous Park Tools guy who does all their videos? He called titanium the heaviest of the light metals, which is a funny way to say it too. But of course, of course, Dylan uses the vegan. Jay Dandy doesn't have an urge to swear, but if he did, now would be the time. Way with two Y's. You have a bike that's broke down. Like carbon bike that's broken down? Uh, wow. If you're gonna troll, I mean, you could make funnier jokes. I mean, it's not the worst joke way, but I mean, I just think you could do better. And eggy noodles, you use the same photo, so we know you're the same guy as the last guy. And I'm drunk, and I still know that. Oh, we're gonna talk about some TRP spires in here, Kevin. um, uh, yeah, if you ride TRP spires, you'll have to adjust them every single week. Oh, large. See, that's how you make a joke. Way better. You could do way better. Nice. That's what Kevin was doing for the last hour. Yeah, yeah. Just make sure you carry the right hex wrench with you. I actually need to adjust my spires so bad; they're so loose right now. Uh, yeah, I'm pulling them almost all the way back to the bars, and I keep thinking every time we stop, I'm like adjust them, and I keep forgetting to do it. But I should pull them up here right now and adjust them. But from what I've heard, if you take them apart and you uh, Loctite a couple of the whatever bolt screws, they'll work a little better. But Rick said, "How come no one has mentioned the new Fuji XH2S? Because it's an APS-C size sensor. I mean, not much reason to fucks with those anymore, right?" Now that Fuji looks good, Rick. So do the new Canon APS-C sensors. They'd be good backup cameras. I wouldn't go primary camera on one of those though. Sam Diaz said he has Spires on one of his bikes without issues, but he doesn't ride that bike that much. Yeah, Spires are great if you don't use them. They're really good brakes if you don't ride them. If you just have them on a bike. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Someone was just I was just talking to someone about my rally, and I said the only thing now that's original is the frame and the headset, but I forgot the spires are the other thing that's original on that bike. So Pudgy, only losers like croppers. Yeah, Rick. If you're gonna get a Fuji, get like a GFX. You know, go like medium format. Step it up like 10 notches. Speaking of hipster cameras, I think my only working Fuji is the old film 6x9 GFXs. Yeah. Sam asked anyone here use those new Growtech brakes. No, I was considering getting them to replace, to try them out. Like I said, I'd really like clampers, but it'd be kind of cool just to do those to do something different. Uh, they're a little more affordable, and Pathless Pedals review of them was pretty good. And like you said, it wasn't a long term review, but see you later, Lanky. Dylan said he was about to say the same thing about Spires, but felt like a dick. Rick, of course you were a professional photographer when we were still nursing, and APS-C was the biggest piece of electronic sensor they could make back then. But now we can make them bigger. Put the megapixels on there. Tony said in the early stages of planning a space horse build. That's the big news here, but he's thinking of doing Grautex. Tony, are you thinking of a new space horse, or is there a used one floating around that you're thinking of picking up? Langstrong. Pudgy said if Shimano takes much longer, he's about to order a set of crampers. What are the ones Otis really likes? Are those Shimano? No. They have a number name. And I think he said to me that I think he was saying it on the stream. He was like, large window. He was telling me just to get those. He was like, but if I wanted to do the Grautex, he would give me a reasonable deal. Like, yeah, Lanky, it's too bad that uh, I took Dylan out on trails that busted him up right before you guys were going to go mountain biking together. So, Rick, was that directed at me? He'll put your eye and your Fuji up against my eye and my full frame clunker any day. I also have to say that like, we can't, Dylan, we can't deny the fact that when you were leaving on, or yeah, you and Rusty were driving back up to Lakewood, and I said, "What time are you and Lanky gonna ride?" And Lanky said Bedford at 8:30, and I was like, 8:30 on Sunday, and the response was, "Ah, Lanky's a roadie," and so Lanky has to come up with a reasonable time to meet. Oh, Sam said thinking of getting the Grotex on his Space Horse too. Oh, Pudgy said Avid BB7, which are garbage. And Ben said BB7 at the same time, and Dylan said, "Don't tell me Otis likes BB7." So Well, there we go. I don't know, Pudgy. I can't trust you. You like Spires, so you're telling me BB7s suck, but Spires suck. So I don't need to get into that conversation, but Tony said hoping to do the new Space Horse in the mint color, all or mostly silver components. Probably doing Renee's crank set. Wow, now that'd be sweet. Yeah. Tony said, got to convince the wife that one recently overhauled bike and another bike with brand new wheels aren't cutting it before I can pull the trigger on the horse. Good luck with that. Uh, Having a space horse with what? Yeah, that'd be a nice upgrade. That would be a nice all around bike that would rule. Dimitri, you said your local shop was sold out of them. Huh. Do you have to do, and I'm guessing you do, um, would you have to put a square taper in to use the Renee's crankset? Man, I know, well, whatever. I would try and get Otis, see if Otis can score that silver GRX. That's the way I would go on that Space Horse. If you could get that all silver GRX, if you're gonna get a modern bike, put a modern group set in there. I mean, I'm not. I obviously love Renee's the Renee's stuff, but and I would put it on like my Marin or any of my other bikes. But if I was getting a new steel bike like that, I would want, if you could get your hands on the silver GRX, that's what I would want on there. Pudgy, you're so mad about that silver Shimano group set. That's like such a limited thing. I don't think it's affecting their production that much. And Chris said, "Don't I have like 20K on the Spires?" And I do. I have like 20K on the Spires. Large said, "No way he'll be able to get the silver Shimano in the next year." I thought that was like just kind of like a, since it was a niche product, they were giving it to some builders to put on certain bikes, and then they were allowing shops to get a certain amount. I didn't think Otis would. I didn't know if he'd be able to get it or not, but because they did say small shops, so I was like, maybe there's a chance. All right, Rusty, have a good night. We got to ride again soon. It was a blast this weekend. I was glad we got to hang out 2 weekends in a row. So have to get up that way too myself. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know how hard space horses have been to get because um, just a dirty river. I like they, you guys seem to have such a good relationship, and same with Joy Machines up in Cleveland, with All City, that I just see so many of them around that it's probably not the reality in other places. So. Tony's got the best comment ever right there. If Powered Silver GRX is actually available, I'll say F it and hire a divorce lawyer while I'm at it. You know what's so funny? I was like, no way. And Otis is like, you should get this. And I'm like, you're the one who would have to get it. But, and at first when Lenky saw the prices and dropped it in the Discord of $1,400 for the 2 by, which I'd obviously want because 2 by is the way God intended bikes to be. Um, I'm like, man, I've been working a lot lately, but if he messaged me right now and he's like, I can get a 2 by GRX group set, I would have a hard time turning it down. Uh, Rusty has an intervention to get to. Good night, Bicycle Dad. Oh, that could be a thing I'm not taking into account either, Dimitri. So he said everything medium is sold out. So yeah, so Pudgy, it said available as OEM and complete group set, but it was very, it seemed narrow. Like they were only giving the polished silver to like the smaller frame builders, and then it said they were only going to give the group sets to small shops. That's what I read in their gravel post, but it didn't sound like they were just going to list them on their website or anything. But I did hear. Did you guys watch that last live stream with Pathless Pedaled Russ and the Ignite Components guy? They started talking about it, and Russ is like, "We're losing all." Like Shimano's marketing team must have been like, "We're losing a lot of business to like the real hip companies," which I'm sure they did realize that. I've thought that forever. It's one of the reasons I have always talked about on this channel, loving 9-speed Shimano group sets. What they're really affordable now, even used, and I like the silver look of them. The silver derailleurs, like the silver rear derailleur and the crankset, just look so much better than modern Shimano or SRAM components, or modern Campy components, or modern microshift components. Tony, Otis claimed he ordered an extra Space Horse frame set of each color in your size. Talk about high pressure sales tactics. Did I say Sam's comment about the Space Horses? You saw a bunch in Austin, but they sell quick in Chicago. Yeah. I'm not sure you understand, Rusty. It's been well established that one buy is the devil's drivetrain. There's even an emoji for it. Can't argue. You just can't argue with that. But Shimano is losing business to companies with inventory. Yeah, for sure. I, everyone is, right? I mean, Rusty's still here, even though he said goodnight a while ago. There is no God, and if there was, he, she would intend to be single speed. Oh, Chris dropped his drink in here. What is this? Heretic. Let's see this. I wish there was a medium zoom, not like zoom and then in your face zoom. Hollow Grave, a rich, smooth porter. Huh. Heretic Brewing, where are they from? Now we could use the super zoom. Fairfield, is that California? Nice. Jay Danny asks where Shimano does the bulk of their manufacturing. I think the bulk is in China and the real high end stuff is in Japan. I could be wrong. Someone let me know, but I think Shimano still makes like, I think they make the Di2 and Durace and Ultegra stuff. Well, they're only Di2 now, right? In Japan, and the rest is Taiwan or China. One by one is not the best drivetrain when you live where there's hills. That's what so Tony said someone, probably Velo Orange, needs to make a classy vintage looking clutch derailleur. I don't derailleurs, as simple as they seem, like why doesn't anyone make better besides the big brands derailleurs? Not better, but make more. Because then that's a big Grant thing about making that reverse shifting rear derailleur. And then he said, I love the look of his old steel bikes with a basket, but that shit rattles all over. Dylan was talking about this over the weekend, how he would never go back from clutch rear derailleurs. I guess I just, since I'm so used to it, I never notice. And correct me if I'm wrong, does it rattle less on a 2x? Because I don't know, it just doesn't bother me that much. So I was using a 9-speed Ultegra rear derailleur on the Marin out at Hampton Hills, and like chain slap and rattle wasn't like something that was bothering me that much. Kevin said he knows Shimano was shut down during COVID. Yeah, because getting back to the shortage, I had that Jack the Rack that would have been here by the end of April, and now they're saying end of summer from that was Szechuan shutdown. That was like crazy shutdown. Like people were not allowed to leave their room. Like crazy. So. Pudgy said he thought high end was Japan and the rest was Malaysia. I'll take your word for that. I know they still do manufacture high end. Shimano still manufactures some high end in Japan, but I didn't know where their more third world stuff was made. So, and Shimano makes a ton of junk too. I mean, you could go get a Kmart, or I guess we call them Walmart bikes now, which absolute garbage Shimano on it. So. And I'm sure they're probably Jay Danny, Japan or China. We need a map. Oh, and Shimano had a massive fire. I didn't. Oh, I think I did remember reading that. Do you want to? Okay, well, we've got to humor Jay Dandy because we have not done it for a while. And plus, let's see where. Let's see. Let's see if. Here it just says Shimano in Malaysia. Let's see what it looks like. Nah, that doesn't look like a big manufacturing spot there. Oh, they make their Shimano fishing gears. I always forget that they do that too. That says manufacturing here. There's a Shimano factory. I don't know what they're making, but Shimano components. All right. Get a little perspective on where exactly Malaysia is in case you guys weren't a little south of Thailand and Vietnam. Chris said, why not a geared hub? There's supposed to be some good geared hubs out there, right? Oh, so Tony, back to the my thinking 2 by might be the reason mine wasn't as bad, but he said he had a 3 by on the Concorde. Shade slap is significant. Tons of sludge on the drive side chainstay every time you clean it. And Pudgy said Ingrid Components makes a clean, classy derailleur for modern group sets. Shimano fishing gear. Yeah, I know that they do that, and it's just something that I always forget, you know, because I don't fish. Rick, you like maps. Come on. Let's look up the Ingrid Components derailleur. If I could get this highlighted right. Kind of cool looking cranks for the right bike. Uh, oh, here we go. Have we looked at these before? Oh, I think we did look at these once, but man, they they're classy, but they're pricey. I'm assuming at these prices you could probably get them anodized any color you want, right? 12 speed, 12 speed, 11 speed. But it's to Shimano, the company that we'd actually want to buy one from. For Shimano Road 11 speed, 46 tooth, color raw, titanium, hard ano. I like the definitely like the raw. It's it's cool, and it looks better than a SRAM rear derailleur. You know those monstrosities, but I almost need to see it on a bike. Let's see what the other images look like. Do they have one of that? I don't dislike it, but it's not like vintagey. It wouldn't quite be right on like. It still doesn't look like a, you know. Interesting for sure, though. The mission of Ingrid Components is to produce performance high-end CNC drivetrain components. Oh, Italian. This is all Italian manufactured stuff. Do they do any of this in silver? Limited colors, let's see. So the rings are always in black, huh? Oh, Pudgy said classy modern derailleur. He's right. They are classy for I totally agree with that. They look better than other modern derailleurs. Sorry, Pudgy, I missed that, even though I probably read it out loud as you said it. China Road.
Joshua Salsa subscribed to the channel.
Well, thank you, Joshua. Mountain Biker Board said geared hubs and the great debate. He's been researching this for a few months now, and geared bikes are still far superior. I think geared hubs are great for commuters. I think that's what they're commuter bikes. That's what they're best for because they're low maintenance, Dutch bikes, stuff like that. Uh, Muskrat said Tim had COVID and he rode one. Yeah, single speed. It has healing powers. I actually, if you watch the video, I felt way worse after I rode that bike. But that's right, Rick. You need to be on the quietest of roads to hear some 9-speed Shimano shift. It's like butter, like Ultegra and Dura-Ace 9-speed Shimano. You don't even know your gears have changed. Tony, you're getting there. Vintage clutch derailleur shouldn't be a challenge. If you look at how the X mechanism works, it's not rocket science. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Gary? He said his Shimano's clunky BS, and he's good with that. My 11 speed isn't as smooth as the vintage, not vintage, but 9-speed Ultegra and Dura-Ace stuff is. Uh, the ergonomics are much better on 11 speed, even though I don't like the looks as much. The way the levers bump out and everything. And it shifts better. It's just not as. The old stuff is just has a smoothness. I don't know. Rick, Ingrid is an ugly name and apparently an ugly component. I don't think they're ugly components. Like I said, I think they look better than modern Shimano or SRAM. I mean, looking better than modern SRAM is hands down. I mean, that's a given. You couldn't make an uglier rear derailleur if you wanted to. Rusty, you have one single speed, and then you have what, 5 geared bikes? I think you're getting a little overboard on that. Chris said, "Made in Italy. You know it'll look good, but never work." Rusty said, "Tim's gears were loud AF all weekend. Don't know whether to blame 2x, Shimano, or maybe just Tim." I think that one's on me. Definitely a problem with my bike rack. The wreck, my front, the bottom bracket there's something wrong with it, and the chain ring is moving back and forth. So you're hearing a little bit of chain rub. The shifting does not sound like it used to. The Raleigh needs a full tear down, and that's all there is to it. Like Yonda said, he was like, you might as well wear out some of those components at this point because they were damaged. But yeah, that's where silver GRX would really hit the spot, you know. But I'm not going to deny it. Like, yeah, that it's not Shimano's fault or 2x. It's a maintenance issue at this point. Oh yeah, roll off pinion. Pinion has it, but again, aren't those more like? Does anyone run that kind of stuff on non-commuter or upright bikes? I don't know. Single speed is all you need. Not in Akron, man. Not in Akron. This is a hilly, and it's short, punchy stuff around here in Akron. Uh, Gears are your friend. Old Man Peterson says 105 is the sweet spot between value and quality. And there's something to be so with 105, and Shimano will even tell you this. Like Dura-Ace isn't even made to last. Like on modern Dura-Ace bikes, it's people who buy Dura-Ace have like professional mechanics working on their stuff all the time. It's high end. It's lightweight. It's finicky. Like 105 is lasts way longer. It's made out of heavier, stronger materials. It's supposed to be that way. Dura-Ace is race stuff. You shouldn't be putting modern Dura-Ace on. No normal person should be putting Dura-Ace on their bike. You know, if you're not racing and you're not a pro, you're just spending money on something that is not even made to be durable. Like Shimano probably doesn't say it in those words, but everybody knows it. All right, see you later, Dylan. Yeah, you guys did make this one a good stream. Rusty, you said you have 2 single speeds and 2 geared bikes. Okay, it's evener than I thought. Evener, more even. A steady stream, as long as we don't cross streams. Yeah, I mean, I can't debate like internal gearing. I just don't know enough of. I mean, I'd be lying to say I knew enough about it. It's all just what I've read or watched videos about. But it just doesn't. Yeah, like yeah, the range isn't as quite as big. It's just not. I don't think it's made to compete with. It's a different. It's just a different beast right now. I don't feel like they are direct competitors. It's just a different concept for different kinds of bikes. Yeah, and Pudgy there, he said all race group sets are to be treated as temporary group sets. Yeah. Yeah, and I like riding my single speed because I set it up now, as you guys know, like super upright, and it's my commuter into downtown and when I'm wearing normal clothes. But if there's going to be a hill, I'm not riding my single speed. So Dimitri, you said you only have single speed and keep going back and forth and ride a gravel bike. Isn't it also fairly flat where you live, though? Aren't you in Wait, am I wrong? I thought you were in the Toronto area, right? It just depends on where you ride and what you want to ride. And Rusty and Boris want to go and like challenge themselves and you know rake themselves over the coal, for an achievement, doing something really hard on single speeds. Uh, I was never like we were talking about this over the weekend. I was never a fixie kid. I used to watch all those videos. I thought they were cool, and it never crossed my mind that I would want a bike with just one gear. You know, it just like I said, I wasn't a cyclist either. I knew when I got to a hill, I shifted gears. That's just how I started out. I just had mountain bikes growing up. So I just come from that way of thinking that I've always been used to having gears. And when I got into vintage bikes, I remember like realizing the limiting factor of the gear range I had on like vintage road bikes. But I just thought they were so cool that I dealt with it. And now I've come back around to as wide a range of gear as possible. And I don't even have as wide a gears on the bikes that I should. So like I said, my move, like on the Marin, is to get something that can make it wider, and maybe even on the Raleigh. Tim likes riding a single speed over curbs at full speed. Okay, I was right. You are in Toronto, Dimitri. Yeah. Are there some sharp hills out there? I drove into Toronto, and it was a long time ago. Spent the weekend, but walked around the walked around a ton, but it's been long enough that I guess I wouldn't really remember. Maybe I was just assuming because where it is on the lake, it's kind of flat. But so there are some sharp hills. Huh. Tony said, Likes the idea of single speed as an excuse. Sorry, can't go faster. Single speed. Sorry, can't make it up the hill. Single speed. But single speed would only be practical to get you to the end of your driveway. And that's so where Tony lives, like the west side, and where I live, like kind of if we consider it all Greater Akron, the north side, we always have to go in and out of the Cuyahoga Valley, and it's tough. So I guess the reason I am not crazy about single speed is when I'm even going over the Y Bridge, our bridge that goes over the valley here, which is not that steep, just one of those gentle grades. I spin out going, like trying to go faster. But then when we go up to the Freedom Trail, like one of our main bike trails from the bike shop, the hill furnace is so steep that it's all I could do to keep from having to put a foot down. So just with where I live, I spin out and then also have to put a foot down on a single speed. So I'm only riding it when I know it's going to be completely flat and I'm not trying to go very fast. But that's a product of where I live. I mean, I watch people, ride fixed gears, track bikes, single speeds in crazy places. I'm in my 40s, and I want to have knees when I'm in my 60s if I get there. So. Rick said for pedal assist conversion, he's now eyeing the front wheel powered hubs. I haven't looked into those yet. Yeah, and so Rusty said it's just harder to break a single speed, less maintenance. And again, like winter bikes, I get the idea of making winter bikes single speeds. Yeah, fixed gears. That's the point of a lot of single speeds. Sam said single speeds are pretty practical in Chicago. It's very flat. Yeah. And Rick said if you want a single speed, don't shift. Plus you're sitting less, so your tank gets less annihilated. Dimitri said going east-west is flat, especially near the lake. Okay. Oh, found a road going into the valley, and one side is 20% and the other is 16. Yeah, that's not something I want a single speed. Oh, you're right. Pudgy was saying it's time to sign off. It's 10:45. It's later than I even intended to go. But this is a fun conversation tonight. Just hit like a couple topics, and they were all kind of fun to talk about. So, yeah, I think I should be good to go on Thursday. I'm going to look at my schedule, decide tomorrow, and hopefully hit up Traveling Through. I still really want to make that up. One, I think we all want to talk to Traveling Through about everything he's done and all the interesting places he's been. But I want to give it the space and the time it deserves. So, yeah, we'll talk about that, figure it out. If not Thursday, next week's looking decent on a couple of the days to keep streaming. So we'll see what happens. It's summer. Like I said, busy as I've ever been, just the way it goes. And it's all good. But, oh, mountain biker boy, you're 52. Yeah. Tramp stamp that bike. I don't know, Rick. All right. Anyways, yeah. I got to sign off. We'll keep talking forever because we have a good conversation going on, which I like, but I've got to do stuff. So, yeah, 20% grade. 20% grade. Yeah, that's the way I say it. Grade of 20. I don't know. All right, guys. We'll see you on Thursday and let you know the plan beforehand on the Discord. So.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Cause
Yeah.
this man
Fitzwater photo.